Skyrim. A very iconic game, probably one of the best games I've ever played in my life, honestly. So I've always wanted to have armor pieces, weapons, items from the game in real life. So now that I have a 3D printer, that's exactly what I'm going to do. In this video, we're going to be making the Dragon Priest mask, and we're going to be sanding it down, spray painting it, and just finishing it in general. I wanted to mention the YouTuber 3D Printed Props because I used his guide to help make this video, as I'm still very new to this. But without further ado, let's start the video. Hey everybody, today I'm going to be sanding, spray painting, and finishing this Skyrim Dragon Priest mask that I 3D printed the other day. It looks really nice, as you can tell, but you can see all these lines in it, these like imperfections. So essentially what we're going to be doing today is doing all that. So I got my sandpaper here, I got a mask so I don't get any of that debris in my face. I got a leather strap here as well. I'm not super familiar with leather, but I'm 3D printing a buckle for it. And this is, the idea is to use this as the actual strap that I'll be wearing it. And then I also got as well some filler primer. This is the color we're going to go with, a dark gray. And then we got our matte clear finish. And I also got this as well. This is like, I don't know if you can see it here. This is like a clear mesh that I'm going to put in the eyes, so you can't really see my eyes, but I'll be able to still see through it. So I'm going to have to do probably a couple of layers of this, honestly. So let's get to sanding. So we're starting off here with sanding down the mask. We're using 120 sandpaper. Right now I'm using the sponge method just to get into those little nooks and crannies of the mask, but you're going to see later I kind of ditched that method. So I just got done with the 120 grit sandpaper. I probably spent about 40 minutes sanding that down. And now we're moving on to the 240 grit, something just a little bit finer. As you're going to see continuously with this video, it's just going to get to more finer and finer sandpaper, so we can just get a smoother finish. We have moved on to the 320 grit sandpaper. Like I said before, we're going to be going into finer and finer numbers. As somewhat of a disclaimer, I will say this is my first time ever doing anything like this, but I think it went pretty well. The next step is to do the 400 grit sandpaper. What I will say is next time I'm definitely going to buy a little bit more expensive sandpaper, because this sandpaper was just, it was too cheap. It was breaking apart pretty easily. We're finally done with the main bit of sanding. So this next part, we're going to be washing the mask. I got a little brush and I washed it off a little bit. And just getting the debris off it, because we're about to coat it with a filler. So you're going to see that here now. This is my first time using this stuff, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, we'll let it sit now for like an hour. Looks like I didn't get any running, and it does look like I actually did coat everything. From like far away, it kind of looks like there's some white spots, but actually not. Everything's actually coated pretty nicely. I'm gonna have to sand it again, so we'll see what happens. I'm hoping some of these lines will come out. But that spray worked really well, actually. Definitely better than I thought it was going to. I guess we'll see what happens. Alright, so it's been about 40 minutes, so we're going to check now here to see if it's dry. It's pretty much all dried. we're gonna go home and we're gonna sand this. It said to leave it for about 2 to 4 hours for best, like sanding, but I don't think it's gonna need that time that long. I think the 30 minutes was enough. And plus, we're gonna do another coat anyways. Yeah, let's move on to that. All right, now we're back again with more sanding. We're using the 400 grit sandpaper again. I really did do like a couple hours of sanding for this video, and it probably still wasn't enough. So that just goes to show that there's gonna be some more sanding, and I probably could have done even more than that. All right, time to wash it now again. This time I'm gonna use soap. So first time I didn't use soap, but I think I am gonna use soap this time. We're on our final coat of the filler primer, and then we're gonna be moving on to our wet sanding. Alright, now we wait 30 minutes. Alright, after we let that primer settle for like about 30 minutes, we're starting on the wet sanding portion of this. And you're going to see me here pouring some water on top of it. And the sandpaper that I bought, like I said before, like it's cheap. I should have bought more expensive sandpaper because it starts, like, as soon as we start wet sanding it, it starts breaking apart. It's not very good, doesn't last very long. But yeah, and then we're going to do... after that is the 1200 grit sandpaper. I wanted to say as well, if you guys see that I'm doing something that you believe is incorrect with the sanding process or the spray painting or really anything, I'm always open to some criticism and, you know, some knowledge on that kind of stuff, because like I said before, I am new to this. Finally, on the last bit of sanding, I said that we were using 1200 grit sandpaper, but I actually had 1000 grit sandpaper. I thought I had 1200. I didn't. But this, yeah, this was a lot of sanding. It was a lot of sanding. But you know, I'm stubborn, so I wanted to get it all done in one day. But it worked out. All right, time for the final wash. Okay, time to start putting on our color. Hopefully this turns out nice. Oh wait, I put my mask on, that's what I forgot. We're on to our final step. I let the gray spray paint dry, I think for 30 minutes, maybe an hour. And then I hit it with the clear spray paint. And this is just the clear coating that goes on top of it. I picked the matte one because I didn't want it to be too shiny. And it really made it added some good color to it. And then I let it dry overnight. So I gave it probably 24 hours before I went and touched it. So this is the final product. It looks pretty good. All the paint stuck on well. The clear coating looks good. There's only minor issues with it. Not really anything that really bothers me. But I sanded the whole thing down so it'd be nice and smooth like this. But on like some spots over here, like on the top, you can still see that there's some lines in it, which is not a big deal. It doesn't really bother me. As far as the leather and the mesh that I was going to use for the eyes and the mouth, I wasn't able to get it on, so I just kind of threw this on for demonstration purposes that show that, you know, I can still put it on and it fits my face. It looks pretty nice. Fits me good. It's definitely not bad. I'm definitely going to do a lot more. My plan is to I want to start making some mounts for my walls and making a bunch of helmets and masks and putting them up on the walls around my room. I think it would look awesome. And I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you liked it, like it, comment, subscribe, share it. If you guys have any requests or anything you think I should make or do, just leave it down in the comments. Thank you.